Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Saturday. It is August 8th. We got the second game of the series today between the Atlanta Braves and the New York Yankees. The New York Yankees won in a thriller last night, folks. What a game it was last night. Everything that the Yankees weren't doing all season. I don't want to say all season, but we'll just say in most games that they didn't do, they did last night. All right. And we'll talk more about it. But shout out to the folks in the chat. Make sure you all hit the like button, hit that subscribe. We're about 17 subscribers away from hitting that 3,000 mark. So if you are watching and you're new and you're watching for the first time, hit that subscribe button. Let's get to that 3,000 number. We're only 17 subscribers away, so I would greatly appreciate it. And let's get hyped up. Let's get ready for the pregame. I won't be live for the play-by-play, but that's all right. Let's go do the pregame. But how's everybody doing? How's everybody feeling? Hopefully everybody's having a good weekend. Hopefully everybody had a great week. Let me say what's up to the chat real quick. Katie, first person in the chat. How's it going? Theo's in the chat. Doran is in the chat. Pixelmon is in the chat. Who else? Joseph Salvatore. What's up? What's up? What's up? How's it going? How's it going, folks? But let's highlight last night's game. Last night's game was pretty crazy, man. Just when we thought, oh man, here we go, another game where the Yankees don't put up runs, another game where the Yankees lose by a run. The Yankees did the unthinkable, man. Like I said, everything that we could have potentially expected with the Yankees being down 1-0. I'm sure many of us probably didn't have like a lot of hope when it came down to it. All right, it was a good. Listen, the pitching for both teams did work. Right, they did their jobs. They between Max Fried and Tyler Mahle, they did their jobs, right. And I'm trying to pull up the scoreboard here. So hold on, thought I had it up. Well, let's try this again. But the Yankees ended up winning in 10 innings, 3-2. I believe it's the Yankees' second win this season in extra innings. We know how these games go with the New York Yankees and extra inning games. It's always a nightmare when it comes to the Yankees and extra inning games. I always get nervous, right? I always get nervous when it comes down to it, because we know how this team is ever since the extra innings. The gross runner rule has been implemented. Generally speaking, the Yankees don't do well, but here we are, right? And Bronx Bomber, what's up? How's it going? But yeah, to talk about last night's game real quick. So both teams had 7 hits. Right, offensively. Pitching, though, really was a story here. Mahle went 6 innings. He struck out 9, walked a couple of batters, didn't give up any runs. Max Fried, held his own. Only gave up the 3 hits like Mahle did. 2 walks, had 7 strikeouts. So him and Mahle had similar numbers. The only difference is Mahle had 2 more strikeouts, and Fried was able to go 6 1/3. So both starting pitchers did their job, and it just came down to the bullpen, right? Fernando Cruz came in, pitched an inning. He gave up the solo home run to Austin Riley, in the top of the 8th. And then Hedrick, Tim Hill, De Los Santos, and Bednar did whatever they had to do to win this game. But, the Yankees were down 2-0 going into the bottom of the 9th. And once again, we've seen this. We've seen these games all too many times during the course of the season. And the Yankees ended up making a comeback. ended up making one of these magical comebacks, and got to give it to them. They fought back. Maybe it wasn't the prettiest of wins. Sometimes these wins aren't pretty, but they did what they had to do. And I always say, a win is not always pretty. And I know putting up 3 runs or 2 runs is not realistic. It's not. It isn't, right. You do that every game, and you try to rely on the pitching. Overall, it's not sustainable over the long course, right? Um, but sometimes this is how you win games, right? Top and in the bottom of the ninth, right? Yankees put up 2 runs. They were able to tie the game, and then the bottom of the 10th, the bases were loaded. Ryan McMahon comes up, hits a sac fly. Luis Garcia Jr. scores, and that's all she wrote, right? Bednar gets the win, and the Yankees ended up getting the win. They ended up winning 3-2. It wasn't a pretty win, and to beat a team like the Braves is a big deal. The Braves right now they're in first place in the AL East, and they're leading by a pretty decent margin. So definitely we all knew that this was going to be a tough series when it comes to the Braves. I don't think there was any doubt, but the Yankees' offensive struggles are still apparent, right? It's still there. The win felt good last night, but there's still a lot of work to do with the offense, right? The offense still needs to perform. They still need to do better, right? Even last night they were 2 for 11 with runners in scoring position. They left 13 men on base. So, more than the Braves did. The Braves they left 6 men on base, and they were 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position. But the Yankees were still able to pull off a win. I mean, it almost felt like a World Series game, right? Like a playoff game between both teams. And it's games like this that are important, that you win by the smallest of margins. However, the Yankees still, the win last night was a good feel, was a nice was a good feeling, was a nice feeling. It finally, it was like a little bit of a relief. But the Yankees still have a lot of work to do. They still need to continue winning games, because guess what? The Red Sox are winning a bunch of games right now. They're one of the hottest teams in baseball at the moment. And the Rays are still winning games as well. So, it's not like the Yankees are out of the water here. So the Yankees need to continue keeping their heads above water. When you look at the standings, they're still 4.5 games behind the Rays. Is first place still attainable for the Yankees? I 100%. I do think they're still maintaining, but they're going to have to try and win as many games as possible this month. We know the guys that are absent, right? But the Rays losing games is a bit of a challenge right now. And the Red Sox are half a game behind the Yankees right now. So there's still that possibility. There's still that danger that the Yankees could fall to third place. It's entirely possible. And shout out to the Ace Avenue. What's up, Shia? I know he's going live later. What up, Ace? Check out my boy. Yankee Kyle, how's it going? Matthew, how's it going? Official, how's it going? So, yeah, the Yankees are still in danger of falling to third place in the division. The Red Sox, again, they made a crazy comeback in this last month. They're currently on a 9-game winning streak right now. They're 9-1 in their last 10. So they're not messing around. And I've said it before. The Red Sox are a team that you just don't count out. You just don't count them out. I mean, the season started out rough for them, but as I always say, and I know many fans say, baseball is a long season. It's a 162-game season. There's going to be a lot of ups and downs when it comes to the baseball season. So it's never consistent. You could be hot 1 minute and then you could suck the next. So um, you got to be ready. You got to be ready for everything when it comes to a 162 game season. Rodney's in the building. Hitman Felix, what's up there, fellas? How we doing? How's the Saturday? Felix says best win of the year so far last night. Glad I actually stayed up to watch it. Yeah, it was worth it. I know the game last night started at 9 o'clock. It ended a little bit after midnight. So, for those of you that stayed up, especially the folks on the East Coast, kudos to you, credit to you. Um, I'm sure staying up, till midnight. Obviously, it's never it's never easy to stay up till midnight. Um, yeah, I probably would have fell asleep, but here I am, just checking to see if there's anything here. But what's up, Dev? What's going on? But listen, Yankees again, still a lot of work to do, right? And the Red Sox are right on their tail. And I'm looking at the wild card right now, and the Texas Rangers have taken over the third wild card spot. So could the Texas Rangers potentially be one of those teams that rides the wave, right? They ride the wave in August and September, and they find a way to get into the postseason. Because it's like I was discussing yesterday. There's always a few teams every single year, right? That ride the wave in August and September, and they sneak their way into the postseason. There's a fire that's lit under them, and they come out of nowhere, right? It's a team that you don't expect. And the Texas Rangers right now, like I said, they're holding the final spot in the wild card. The Guardians have fallen out of the final spot, or final spot in the wild card at this moment, right? They're half a game behind now, along with the Twins, the Orioles, Tigers, Mariners, Blue Jays. I mean, they're not far behind. Any of these teams could potentially make it. They're not far. They're not far away from being one of the finalists to make it to the postseason. So, stay tuned, folks. It's gonna, it's August 8th, and it's just watch out for these games. Watch out for these games here, August and September. Ronnie says cheapskates normally go to bed early. That's funny. Yeah, Old Timers Day today. A lot of Yankee greats. I hope with being old timers, hopefully the Yankees can win today's game for the legends that are going to be attending Old Timers Day. So a lot of familiar names. I'm sure a lot of guys that some of us grew up watching. So it's always fun, man. One of these days I'd like to go attend an Old Timers Day. What's up, Bill? How's it going? So like I was saying, I'm glad the Yankees won last night. It wasn't the prettiest of wins, but it was a feel good win, right? It was a feel good win. And I got to point something out. Myself included, we have been highly critical of a certain player. And no, his name is not Anthony Volpe. His name is Austin Wells. And I got to point this out, and I was reading some stuff and looking at the stats. Yes, his overall numbers are not great. Right now his overall numbers, and it almost makes you sick to your stomach. 170 batting average, 268 on base percentage, 561 OPS. That is his season so far. All right, that is his season so far. It's not pretty, right? It's not pretty by any stretch. But his numbers in the last 15 games, he's actually been one of the better bats, believe it or not. So last 15 games, He's batting 257. He's got an on-base percentage of 381, a slugging of 486. And his OPS over that 15-game span, 867. 867. What's up, Jared? So I know we've been critical of Wells, right? Myself included. I'm not necessarily the biggest Austin Wells fan. I've praised him for his work that he does behind the plate and the chemistry that he has with the pitching staff. But his bat has been bad all season. Well, looking at it, even though it's a short sample size, it's nice to see Wells making some progress. Maybe it continues. Hopefully, guys like him can step it up, right? Him, Ryan McMahon, Jazz. These are the three guys that need to step it up. Trent Grisham, right? Who I talked about yesterday. I threw out that question whether or not Spencer Jones should start over Trent Grisham and just move forward with him for the rest of the season once some of the reinforcements start coming back. But I'm glad to see Wells playing well in the last 15 games. You look at the last 7 games, he's batting 333 with a on-base percentage of 412, a slugging of 667. So Wells has been one of the better bats, right? I know the offense has been garbage for a little while now, but Wells has been a bright spot, which is nice to say because there was all this. I know us fans, we wanted a new catcher at the deadline, right? I know we wanted the Yankees to trade for a catcher at the deadline, and the Yankees could have potentially had Adley Rutschman, but didn't like what the Orioles were asking for, and we don't really know who they were asking for. So they went to the Red Sox and got a better package from the Red Sox instead. And guys like Ryan Jeffers, he was staying put. The Twins decided, they're going to try and make a push. So Jeffers wasn't going anywhere. And there was no conversation apparently with Tyler Stevenson, the catcher of the Cincinnati Reds. So the catching market at the trade deadline was pretty thin. So yeah, the Yankees ended up picking up Mitch Garver. They ended up signing Mitch Garver. He's in AAA now. So let's see what he does at AAA. Did the Yankees call him up at some point and send Ali Sanchez back down? Does add some veteran presence. Not that it means anything, but it's still better. I mean, it's got to be a better option than what the Yankees have as backup catchers right now, right? So just something to consider. Pixelmon says Jazz Chisholm needs to go. He's been awful. They're better off throwing Garcia out there at second base when everyone comes back. I got one better for you. I'd say throw Caballero there instead of Garcia. Keep Garcia at first base. And speaking of Garcia, what about that catch that he made yesterday in extra innings? He said he didn't think he was going to make it, and it was a hard catch. I mean, it was going to be a hard catch for him to make. That was a hard play to make, but he did it. He did it. So that was incredible. That might have saved the game, for all we know. So Bill O says, I really don't care if we win by 1 or 10 runs. Just win, baby, and keep winning series until we get healthy again. That's where I'm at, Bill. That's where I'm at this very moment. I mean, you win by 1 run, 2 runs, 3 runs. You only score 2 runs, 3 runs. You might score 1 run, 4 or 5. Right now, a win. Every game you could say a win is a win, but especially right now with the way the lineup is, with the way the guys are performing at the plate offensively, they are pressing too much at the plate, and few guys that are hurt right now. Any win that the Yankees get, especially this month up until the reinforcements come back, I'll take any win we can. I will take any win we can. So Sign me up. Sign me up. Chua says he wants to get rid of the general manager of the Orioles. Yeah, it's kind of a mess there in Baltimore from what I've been reading. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's the story. Well, you can't sit Rice or Garcia, but like I said, I'd rather Garcia plays first base. Seems pretty comfortable there. Well, Stanton's not going to play the outfield, and Judge playing left field unlikely. Well, I'm keeping Ryan McMahon at third base, and then if Garcia has to play second base, then so be it. I don't see that. I don't foresee that happening personally. Um, I think they're still going to keep Jazz there. Yeah, yeah. The offensive production is like I was talking about yesterday. Official, it dropped. I was going over the numbers yesterday. Overall, like batting average, OPS, slugging, on base percentage, the Yankees dipped in those in the rankings. They dipped a big time. I mean, once they were able to hold their own, even with Aaron Judge getting hurt, but then once Bellinger got hurt, it got worse. It was already kind of going downhill when with Judge getting hurt, but it was it kind of had that snowball effect. Once Bellinger went down, it just had that snowball effect. You know, um, lately, Ben Rice has been struggling big time. What's up, Scotto? Yeah, official. I mean, Judge more so than Stanton, because when Stanton was hurt, the Yankees were still doing fine. It's not to say that Stanton doesn't help. Stanton does help. Every time Stanton comes back from an injury, he does have to adjust. Um, he does have to adjust back, try to get back into the routine. There's a little bit of a adjustment period there, a little bit of a struggle when it comes to John Carlo. I mean, it's not just a John Carlo thing; it happens to every player that comes back from an injury. But he's still in the lineup, and he's still a threat in the lineup. He still presents that threat. So yeah, listen, Pixelmon. I don't know how the roster is going to be once the reinforcements come back. That's going to be an interesting that's going to be interesting to see what moves the Yankees make. So one of two things are going to happen for sure. Um, Either I'm all for moving forward with Spencer Jones and moving on from Trent Grisham, or Spencer Jones is gonna get optioned back to AAA, which I wouldn't want to see personally, but I think I ultimately it wouldn't surprise me if that happens. But I think it's either they stick with Jones or stick with Grisham, but I could see them optioning Jones back down to AAA. But personally, I think they need to stick with Spencer Jones moving forward, right? I mean, yeah, neither one is really producing right now at the plate, but we all know who has the better glove, who has the better speed, and who can play all three outfield positions. But it'll be interesting. Like I said, it'll be interesting to see what moves the Yankees make once once these reinforcements come back. DFA Grisham to move Jones to center field. I'm all for it, Billo. I'm all in favor of DFAing Trent Grisham. I have no problems with that. He's gone after the season anyway. He's gonna get his money anyway. So you know, I have no issues with that. Yeah, Ryan McMahon last night. He that was probably one of his best games. last night, right? We're talking about Ryan McMahon, another guy that who has struggled a lot at the plate this season, but over this last 7 games, he's batting 353 with a 429 on base percentage and a 588 slugging. So over the last 7 games, he's been showing some progress, right? So it's good. Now we just need to keep up that consistency. Ramos is your fourth outfield bat. I have no problems with that. Judge and right, Belly and left. I mean, like I said, to me, it's a no brainer. To me, it's a no brainer. Spencer Jones in center, Judge and right, and then Bellinger at in left field. Sign me up for that all day. DFA Jazz and play Garcia at second. Well, Aaron Boone did mention that Garcia could see playing time at second base. He's not. He didn't necessarily rule it out. The Yankees DFAing Jazz. That would be something. That would be something. I mean, you say that, Scotto, right? That they're not. You don't see them eating the rest of the money that they owe Trent. But I think we said the same thing about DJ LeMahieu too last year. Like they weren't gonna. What were we saying before he got designated for assignment? We were saying that he wasn't going to get benched because he's a guy that gets paid $15 million, right? So, but the Yankees ended up cutting him and they ended up paying him for last season. They're also paying him for this season as well, and then he'll be out of. Then he's done, right? He'll be off the books. DJ DFAing Trent would make Cashman look real dumb. So I guess Cashman is dumb for also for trading away Jake Bird and Camilo Duvall that he traded for last year. These guys didn't exactly work out, and they didn't pan out the way we had hoped. So, I mean, like I said, it's something that I would do, personally, right? And I'm not going to sit here and say that I know better, but just looking at it from my point of view, that's what I would do. I would DFA Trent. Whether Cashman does it or not is the question. We don't know. Lombard at short, Rice at first, Judge in right field, Garcia second, Stanton DH, Belly in center field, Ramos in left. Yeah, I don't mind that. I'd rather Bellinger in center or in left field than Jones and Bellinger in left field, Jones in center. I mean, I'd rather go that direction personally. But again, it's a puzzle for the Yankees brain trust to figure out. There's definitely going to be some tough decisions. Yeah, offensively, I'm not gonna argue with that. I'm not gonna argue with that. But just to throw it out there, right? Because folks were talking about Ramos's defense not being great. Although you get what you get. You get what you can out of Ramos. I mean, Ramos's bat's going to be really good. We know that. But I'll take his defense over Dominguez every day of the week. Jake says, my personal opinion, when Bellinger and Judge come back, I would DFA Grisham and have Ramos play every day. So the outfield would be Ramos, Bellinger, and Judge. I mean, for me, I think you're going off of the offensive production. I'm not arguing with that, but I'm coming from a defensive perspective. Offensively, that would be better, Ramos, Bellinger, and Judge. But defensively, I would like Bellinger, Jones, and Judge. If I'm being honest. Right now, he doesn't have a better bat than Ramos. Right now, he doesn't have a better bat than Ramos, but I'm more thinking along the lines of Jones over Grisham. I would DFA Grisham for Bellinger, Spencer Jones for Judge, and Rosario for Stanton. Yeah, there's been some talks of probably Rosario possibly not being on this roster, which I could see. I mean, I like Rosario, but it boils down to what's going to help the team be better. I know I like Jones's glove in the lineup, man. His glove is that would just be such a solid defense in the outfield. I mean, that would be such a defensive upgrade. Because again, like we talked about yesterday, that final game against the Cardinals, Jones maybe not both. But at least one of the two balls that would hit to center field, um, he would have made. But it's fun to talk about this stuff, right? I'm not saying there's no necessarily. I don't want to say there's necessarily a wrong answer here. I appreciate everybody's feedback and everybody giving me their thoughts on this, and we're not necessarily attacking each other, having and they're all good ideas. They're all good takes. They're solid, but it's tough. It is definitely tough. This is going to be a very tough decision. The toughest thing is who gets option for Carlos Rodon. So official once Rodon comes back, and we know Rodon has a rehab start today. Rodon comes back. I think they send Ryan Weathers to the bullpen, and my guess is they'll probably option Yeri De Los Santos back to AAA. That would be my guess. Jones has a glove and an arm, and nobody is going to run on the outfield of Jones. Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. That outfield with Jones, Bellinger, Judge. That's a defensively sound outfield right there. Jake, I was saying this stuff yesterday. Grisham is not going to get. He's Let's just say the game plan is for the Yankees to DFA Grisham or bench Grisham. It's not going to happen right now until the reinforcements come back. We can have all our opinions, but we can agree. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the end goal is the World Series. The end goal is the World Series. Billo says Yarbrough will be on waivers. That's another possibility. But oh yeah, Pixelmon, thank you for mentioning Curvin Castro. Yeah, so either Curvin Castro or De Los Santos, one of those guys gets option back. I think. Ronnie says number 28. That's right, man. Grisham, Belly, and Jones? No way, Pixelmon. Where's Judge? Where do we keep Aaron Judge? If you're saying Jones in right field, where's Aaron Judge? When the roster lengthens for September, who are you calling up? I mean, I would have said Carlos Lagrange, but he's out of the picture. Judge would be the DH. It's just I think I just think that Judge being in the outfield is better with Bellinger and Jones. Or you could put Bellinger in center field and put Ramos in left and put Jones in right. Or put Ramos in right and put Jones in left. That would be better. Yeah. Well, I don't. Yeah, Legrand, Giant Pinstripes. What's up, man? How's it going? But Legrand, I don't think is in the picture because what from what Brian Cashman said, that it's unlikely that he's gonna make any sort of debut. Chase Hampton, no. Elmer Rodriguez, definitely. I could see Elmer Rodriguez getting called back up when they expand the roster. Or it could be one of the other guys that are either that are hurt right now that could be the extra man, or they could call back up Angel Shavi. That's another guy that they can call back up um, once they expand the roster, right? Unless they call him up beforehand for a roster move. Rodon is going to be the call up. Clark Schmidt, possibly. Yeah, but I think Rodon's coming back sooner rather than later. Mitch Garver, yeah, yeah, but Rodon's coming back before the expansion, though. I mean, again, he has a rehab game today, and he's probably gonna. I would imagine he's probably gonna have one or two more. He's gonna go 3 innings or 35 pitches, so that's the game plan for today's rehab start, and then probably I'd, again, I'd imagine he'll have definitely another start, maybe two. So yeah, again, pick someone either Curvin Castro or De Los Santos gets optioned back because somebody in the rotation has to move back to the bullpen, and I think that guy is Ryan Weathers. Although Ryan Weathers, to be honest, he is making his case to keep a spot in the rotation. So then, do you send Will Warren? But I don't know that Will Warren's I don't know that Will Warren's stuff plays well in the bullpen. But fun stuff to talk about. Fun stuff to talk about. I love I love seeing I love seeing the different opinions. Love seeing the different things that folks would do, how they would construct a roster. Right? I mean, it's fun stuff. It's a good thing that the Yankees have this problem. It's a hard problem, but it's also a good problem. I mean, it could be so much worse, but but here we are. Here we are. So, I'm excited to see what the Yankees decide to do once the reinforcements come back. I'm excited to see who they call up once the rosters expand in September, when it expands to 28. But it's we're not far away. We're not far away, hopefully, from guys coming back. So we'll see what goes down. But what is going down today on Old Timers Day is the second game of the series between the New York Yankees and Atlanta Braves. And yesterday's game, the Yankees pitching, Braves pitching, both teams pitching held tough. They held tough. I mean, the Fried did a really good job against his former team. I can only imagine, playing against his former team was probably tough. But he went out there, did his job, and it's not like the Braves bats are nothing to sleep on. Let me see where the Braves bats are ranked right now. I'm just curious. Trying to look for the offensive stats for the Braves. 'Cause Braves are a good team, man. So yeah, when it comes to batting average, I mean they're eighth, 250. On base percentage, they are trying to find them here. Okay, they're 17th in on base percentage, 315. So a little bit lower there. Slugging, they're third in slugging with 421. The number one team in slugging in baseball is the Nationals. And then OPS, they're seventh. So 736. So offensively, they're not a bad team. They should have been shopping Warren or catching and relief pitching. They should send Warren down to continue to start. I don't think Warren's going anywhere, though. I think I can't. There's not a world I see Will Warren getting sent back down. Yeah, and Pixelmon. The thing is, here's the thing: they were in on Adley Rutschman. They just didn't like what the Orioles were asking for, and I'm sure what Cashman was trying to offer to the Orioles was not what the Orioles were looking for. Hence the reason why they traded with the Red Sox instead. Relief pitching. Yeah, they checked in on guys. Probably didn't match, according to Cashman, it just didn't match up well with other teams. And the guys that they wanted weren't available because the teams didn't make them available. So not a whole lot Cashman could do there. And the catching market was already thin as it is. Not a whole lot of options. So, it was a pretty thin market. It was a pretty thin market, and a lot of these arms that got moved around or that got traded during the deadline. I don't know how much of an impact they would have had for the Yankees bullpen, honestly. Yeah, Weathers to the bullpen is what I'm thinking. Yeah, he's probably. I mean, he probably won't be on the playoff roster. If we're talking wild card, he probably won't be on that roster. But if the Yankees continue advancing, you could potentially see him on the roster. But that's a conversation down the line. Yeah, the Red Sox did give up a lot for Adley Rutschman. It was an overpay. It's not to take anything away from Rutschman, but it was definitely an overpay. But anyway, um, let's talk about today's game. All right, it's going to be Garrett Cole versus Chris Sale, and it's going to be another fun pitching matchup. Right, it almost feels like a World Series game. Right, two really fantastic pitchers, Chris Sale and again Garrett Cole. But let me pull up the lineup here. We'll talk about the lineup. So it'll be a lefty versus righty matchup. So lineup looking a little different right now in today's game. So you got Goldschmidt leading things off, playing first base. Heliot Ramos is batting second, playing left field. Rice is batting third. He'll be your DH. Ahmed Rosario is batting cleanup. He'll be taking over third base duties. Trent Grisham is batting fifth. He'll be playing center field. George Lombard Jr. batting sixth, playing shortstop. How about George Lombard Jr., man, just making those plays at shortstop? It's refreshing. Spencer Jones is batting seventh. He'll be playing right field today. Jose Caballero will be batting eighth, playing second base, so no Jazz. Austin Wells is at the dish, and Garrett Cole is on the mound. Let me know what you think about the lineup. Do you hate it? Do you love it? Let's talk about it. Dodgers gave up 5, 7, and 17 prospects for a rental in Scooble. Yeah, they didn't give up. I mean, they didn't really give up a lot. They gave up one top five, two top 10, and a 17. Grisham should be eighth. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think. I mean, Lombard moved up in the lineup, so he's batting sixth. I would have. I would have probably had Lombard bat seventh, but that's just me. I want McMahon in there for defense. We know McMahon is a better defender at third. I don't. There's definitely not a debate there. But yeah, that's definitely not a debate. But we know Rosario hits lefties better than McMahon does. So you got Goldschmidt, Ramos, Rosario, Lombard, Caballero. Right, so you got 5 righties, 4 lefties in the lineup. So no Luis Garcia Jr. in the lineup, which again you could understand why. But at least you got Goldschmidt playing first base. We know he's still good with the glove. Play Jazz center field over Grisham. I'll pass. It's a win or go home game. Who are you going to start that game? Between which two players are you referring to, Bill? Did you see that Scooble wants to go back to the Tigers potentially in the offseason? Yeah, I did see that. But the question is, are the Tigers willing to spend that money? Because they're not gonna outspend the Dodgers. If the Dodgers offer, obviously they're going to offer a boatload of money to Scooble. Scooble's not going to say no. The Tigers are not going to be able to compete with the Dodgers when it comes to spending money. Yeah, Scooble wants to bag. Come on, let's be real here. Scooble definitely wants to bag. Yeah, no Garcia in the lineup, but you got Goldschmidt playing first base. Win or go home, who are you going to want to start that game? Probably go Garrett. I'd probably go Cam Schlittler. Cam Schlittler or Max Fried? Yeah, I mean that's why Garcia is not in the lineup. He might come in a pinch hit situation, so look out for that. But this is your lineup right here, folks. This is what we got. Let's see if the Yankees can come away with a win this afternoon and take the series. It'll be nice for the Yankees to take the series against a team like the Braves. So the Yankees have been playing. They've played well against some of these teams that have a over 500 winning record and are playing good baseball. Cubs, Phillies. They could beat the Braves. That would be huge. That would be a big deal to me. But let's get into these predictions. I want to talk some predictions, folks. Let's talk a little predictions. What do we have for what do we got for Garrett Cole today? What does the Yankee ace do in today's game? Cam and Fried, if Cam doesn't have a good game, there is a danger of that, but you can say that about anybody. Yeah, well, that's MLB The Show, dude. Sure, MLB The Show, you could probably put Aaron Judge at first base. Let's talk Garrett Cole here, folks. What does Garrett Cole do today? He's got a 5-5 record, 3.42 ERA, 78 strikeouts so far this season, a 1.10 WHIP, 17 walks. And we'll take a look at his last few outings. Take a look at his game logs, last few starts, and see how he's done. What's up, John? So Bill is going 7 innings, 9 strikeouts, couple of walks, couple of runs. Yankees win 7-3. Pixelmon's going 6 innings, pitched, 2 earned runs, 8 strikeouts. Yeah, I'll give Cole the same amount of innings as Max Fried. I'll say 6 1/3. 6 1/3. 6 1/3, 8 strikeouts, couple of walks. I think he gives up 1 earned run. That's what I'm thinking. Hector's going 6 innings, 9 strikeouts, a walk and a run. Any other predictions there for Garrett Cole? While y'all are dropping your predictions, I'm going to take a look at his last few starts. Let me pull up his game logs. So last start against the Cubs, he got the win. He pitched 5 2/3, had 5 strikeouts, 3 walks, gave up 1 run on 4 hits. So able to hold his own. The game against the White Sox, the game before that, got the win. He was able to go 6 innings, 7 strikeouts, walked a couple of batters, didn't give up any runs, gave up 4 hits. And then the game against Pittsburgh, didn't get the decision, but had a solid outing. 7 innings, struck out 11, gave up 3 runs on 4 hits. But he had 11 strikeouts, no walks in that game. So last few outings looked really, really good for him. The outing he even had against the Dodgers were really good too, up until he gave up that 2-run home run to Muncy, which he talked himself into staying in that game. I think taking him out would have been the right decision, but hindsight's 2020. I'd say I wish Boone would have just stuck with his decision and be like, all right, dude, we're done, right? Like you did your thing. Let's give the ball to the next guy. Matthews going 6 2/3, gives up 3 hits, 2 walks, 9 strikeouts, gives up a run. Yankees win 5-2. I think Cole will lose because Yankees offense will not score against Sale. 3-0 loss. I mean we've all seen Chris Sale lose it. Chris Sale, I mean, listen, when he's on his game, he's unstoppable, right? He could be, he looks like he's one of the best. But injuries have also derailed him a little bit too. But he's 37 years old this season, 12-6 with a 2.08 ERA, 143 strikeouts, a 1.02 WHIP, 117 innings pitched. Still some decent numbers, man. I mean, at 37, he's still pitching quite well. He pitched against the Mets the last time, got the win, 6 innings, struck out 9, didn't give up any runs, gave up 2 hits. Against the Padres, 6 innings, struck out 11, gave up 3 runs in that game, walked a batter, got the win. And against the Rangers, right, the game before that was 7 innings, struck out 6, didn't walk anybody, gave up 2 hits, no runs. So you look at the last 5 starts, he's 4-0. And one of those starts, there was a no decision, because that game he only went 3 innings, and that was against the Cardinals. So don't know what happened there. But overall, he's been decent. So would it surprise me if he was able to go 6 or 7 innings? No, I wouldn't be surprised at all. I wouldn't be surprised if he went 6 or 7 innings. So I think both guys. Will be able to go 6 or 7 innings. But my prediction for Garrett Cole again is going to be 6 1/3. And I think Chris Sale could potentially be pitching that much too. 6 1/3, 6-2. Wouldn't surprise me if you went 7. Sale's a mental case. I don't know about mental case, but he's we've seen him struggle. Don't forget that if the Braves didn't trade for Matt Olson, the Yankees could have potentially traded for him that offseason. Yeah, a lot of things could have happened, but I don't know. I mean, the Yankees also they could have Matt Olson, they could have Freddie Freeman. Dare I say, last night was a spark. Hopefully, 6 innings and 5 strikeouts for Cole. And Katie says homers from Goldschmidt, Ramos, and Rice. Yankees win 8-4. 7-9, 3.06 against the Yankees in 23 games. Yeah, I mean, Yankees have had success against Chris Sale. You know, there's no doubt about that. His days of playing in Boston, Yankees have had some success against him. But you never know how these games are going to transpire. Yeah, Ronnie coulda, shoulda, woulda. You know, that's what I say. What's in the past is in the past. You know, what's done is done. You can't go back and change it. The results are the results. We could cry about it all day. We could whine about it all day and talk about the what ifs and this and that. It's pointless, honestly. You know. But anyway, let's get into the home run calls, folks. Who's gonna hit a home run this afternoon? I'll give you my predictions. So I'm gonna go Ramos. I'm gonna go Heliot Ramos. I'm definitely going Heliot Ramos. I'll say Ramos, Rosario, and who's my bold pick? You know what? I'm gonna say Caballero just for the heck of it. I'm doing something a little different today. Ramos, Rosario, Caballero. My sleeper is going to be Lombard. Those are my picks. I'm sorry, Bill. And none of us, Mr. Peabody, or have a way back machine. No, we don't. Jones for a home run. Scotto says hit that like button. Yeah, appreciate it, folks. Yeah, please hit that like button for your boy here. Also, if you're watching and you're new, hit that subscribe button. We're not the channel is not far away from 3,000 subs, so we're about 17 subscribers away from hitting 3,000. So let's hit that 3,000 mark. I would greatly appreciate it. It would mean the world to me. Jones, Rice, Rosario from Rodney. Bill says Cabby. John says Ramos, Jones, and Rice. That's funny, Matthew. How did you become a Yankees fan living in Atlanta? I'm curious about that. No lefties? Are you asking me my home run predictions are no lefties? Yeah, I don't have any lefties hitting a home run, if that's what you're asking me. Lombard Jr. is your sleeper, Bill? Yankees scoring 8 runs. Katie is a real long shot. I'll be happy if they score 4. Yeah, the way the offense is, I can't see them scoring 8. But if they do score 8, oh my goodness. Goldie, Ahmed, Cabby's sleepers, Lombard for Hector. Yeah, the math ain't matching. 34 watching, 17 likes. He says y'all are cheap on the likes too. Ronnie just calling him out. I love it. Yeah, let's get those likes up. Let's get those likes, people. Let's try to get to those 36 likes. Where are the other 19 likes in the chat? But those are my home run predictions though. I'm sticking with that, and that's what I'm sticking with. So Ramos, Rosario, Caballero, sleeper is going to be Lombard. My score, last night's game. I don't know why I had a feeling that last night's game was going to be a low scoring game, and it was exactly that. Jay Witt says Benny Rice gets his groove back and goes yard today. Well, hopefully that hit that he had yesterday was a fire that under him lit a fire under him, and he performs well today because Ben Rice has to break out of this has to continue breaking out of this slump that he's been in because Rice he's been bad. I mean, I know we talk about Grisham, we talk about Wells, we talk about Jazz, or we can't ignore Ben Rice, unfortunately, because last 15 games he's batting a buck 27, 250 on base percentage, a slug at a 218. Last 7 games, I can share the stats if you really want to know. It's definitely it is not pretty by any stretch. You would think that these were like Austin Wells numbers. Hitman says Ben Rice is due for a homer. Matthew says I love Derek Jeter, Mariano Rivera, and all of our Hall of Famers growing up. I understand. Yeah, I get it, man. Yeah, I mean Jeter, Mariano, those guys were just absolute legends. I mean, for me, my favorite Yankee, for me is number 51. So if you know the Yankees, you know who number 51 is. Jay Witt's going 3-2. I'm gonna say because that was last night's game, 3-2. I'll say 4-3. That's gonna be my prediction for today's game, 4-3. So 4-3 will be my prediction. Billo, yeah, I was a kid when all those guys were playing, man. I was a young kid, but I remember watching those guys play. I remember every game, and yeah, I was spoiled as a kid watching these guys, man. Yeah, A Rod for sure. How about Wells and McMahon being our saviors last night? Who would have thought? Yeah, well, Jay Witt, I don't know if you were present when I shared Wells' stats um, over the last 15 games, but he's been one of the better players in the lineup, if you could believe that. Wells has been phenomenal over the last 15 games. It may not. I know it doesn't seem that way, given especially looking at his numbers, but his performance as of late though has been fantastic. Ronnie says, "I remember the hard times." I'm sure you do, man. I mean, This is like the first time in my life. Well, no, I guess you could say second time. Second time, because I remember those hard times from '01 to '08. Now I'm, experiencing 2010 till present moment because of the World Series drought. So, this isn't the first time the Yankees have had a World Series drought. They had it in the '80s, and I know Ronnie's been there, man. Pixelmon says I always loved A-Rod. He was one of the smoothest third basemen, and he would just smoke home runs. Yeah, no. Listen, A-Rod was a fantastic baseball player. He understands the game. He knows the game. He plays the game very well. I got nothing. I mean, as far as that goes, I got nothing bad to say about A-Rod when it comes to that. My thing I just don't like A-Rod outside of baseball. I'm just not really the biggest fan. Yeah, 81 to 95. I mean, but prior to 1996, the last World Series that they won was 1978, correct? I'm sure it isn't there, Rodney. I'm sure it isn't. You know, Bernie Williams would be an awesome hitting coach. Yeah, he was a switch hitter, can teach both ways, but that's not going to happen. Bernie's enjoying life. He's playing his guitar. He's performing. That dude ain't. He's not going to be. He's not going to be a coach anywhere. A Rod was smoother at shortstop. He was definitely smoother at shortstop, but he played a very good third base too, though. I don't think we could deny that. Yeah, so they won in '78, and then 18 years of it took them 18 years to win another World Series. That's brutal, man. That's brutal. Yeah, I don't know, Matthew. I mean, listen, yes, the Dodgers are on a bit of a slump right now, um, 7 game losing streak, but it's just one of those slumps that they're going through. I think they're going to be fine. I think they're going to be fine. Suffered with Mattingly. That was sad. Yeah, to not see Donnie Baseball win a World Series, and for the Yankees to win a World Series after he was gone, the year before or the year after. Oh, that one, yeah, that sucked, man. That sucked. Yes, indeed. All right, let's get into. Got a couple more things to talk about. Let's talk about the ABS. How many calls get overturned by ABS? What are we thinking for today's game? I wasn't really. I don't know how many calls got overturned yesterday. I couldn't really. I was following the game, but I was also dealing with some other things too. And real quick, looking at the poll today, 32 votes, and 75% of you are confident that the Yankees are going to take the series with a win today. But how many calls get overturned by ABS? What do we got for that? Let's talk about the ABS. Jaywitt's going 4. Billow's going 7. I'm going to go 5. I don't know why, but I'm going to go 5. I think 5 calls get overturned. Matthew, that would be awesome. Note to Baboon, rest Trent. He is just awful, too small, too slow, cannot hit. Well, like I said, man, 2 days in a row we were having this conversation about Trent Grisham, and shout out to my boy Petruzzi with the $2 super chat. He says, "NFE, my brother Lombard is him. Huge dub last night, no doubt about it, my friend." Thank you for the $2 super chat, Jacob Petruzzi coming through. So Billow says 7 combined for ABS. Yeah, I'm just saying 5 combined. I'll say 5. Yes, indeed. Oh, Wade Boggs. I remember that too. I remember that too. Mr. Chicken Man himself. I would like to get Wade Boggs on a podcast and talk to him. That would be a lot of fun. I want to see if there's any Yankee updates, Yankee news. I see something here from Brian Hogue. Said Aaron Boone said that Giancarlo Stanton jogged in the outfield yesterday and has, quote, started the introduction to some bases. And I expect him back here at some point. He'll be in there when the time's right. So that's a good sign. I like that. Trying to see if there's anything else. Let me check one of the other beat writers here. That tweet was from Brian Hogue on the Giancarlo Stanton news. I don't see nothing here from Gary Phillips. It's all right. Introduction to bases. What were we in T-ball? I guess. Perhaps he probably means introduction to bases, like running around the bases, jogging around the bases, seeing how he's feeling. Two for both teams, so Matthew's going four total. Wade Boggs in the day could probably. Well, we know Wade Boggs could eat more chicken than you. He could eat more chicken than the majority of us. I don't think there's any doubt there. He was the chicken man after all. All right, let's get into the last thing. What are we eating today? Did we have a late breakfast? Are we gonna have brunch? Are we having lunch? Or are we waiting for dinner? What's the game plan for food, people? What is the game plan for food? What are we munching on tonight? Box drank 62 beers on a 4-hour flight. Oh my god. I'm assuming you meant 4-hour flight there, right, Bill? Well, what are we eating, folks? What are we munching on? Late breakfast right now? Cool. What are you having? So if he had 62 beers on a 4-hour flight, it's like 15 beers an hour when you average it out. That's insane. Oh my god. How did he survive is my question. Dunkin' Donuts? Ooh, I like me some Dunkin'. Capellini, Pomodoro for lunch. Jockey Boy says having a couple of pork schnitzels on a bun. 3 overturned ABS challenges. Okay. What's up, Jockey Boy? Yeah, I had a pretty light breakfast today. Some little bread, feta cheese, tomato, cucumbers. Nice and easy. It's always always a nice little breakfast to have. Pixelmon says I had 8 scrambled eggs, and now I'm thinking about what to make for supper. 8 scrambled eggs? You trying to bulk up or something? You trying to build some muscle? Go out to the gym and work out? Nice. But yeah, the game's going to start in a little less than an hour. I think it's a 3:05 start time. Yeah, about a 3:05 start time. That's what we're looking at. Got to do the 9,999 challenge in the Dodgers tent tonight. What is that? I am not familiar with that challenge. What is that challenge? But yeah, today's game is going to be a good one though. There'll be another good game. The pitching matchups this week, this whole series is good, right? You got Cam Schlittler tomorrow. Oh, 9 beers, 9 shots, hot dogs, and 9 innings. Is that a Dodgers thing or is that a you thing? Yeah, with the way you talk about drinking, I'm sure you'll be able to do it there, Bill. I don't think I have any doubt. CeeLo, what's up, man? How have you been? Bagels for lunch? Nice. You still ordering those bagels from the website? I know I am. The shots as a tribute to Judge. Understood. Yeah, good to see you too there, CeeLo. Hopefully you've been well. Yeah, just been talking about last night's game, today's game, went over predictions. Um, Talking about what the roster is going to look like once the reinforcements come back. Does Volpe make that play Lombard makes last night? Felix, my answer is no. Oh yeah, no, I always have a morning coffee, no doubt. Definitely have a morning coffee. Your Blue Jays watch party does the 9x9x9 Blue Jays today. Dang, okay. Is that what you're gonna be doing, Jockey Boy? But yeah, to answer your question, yeah, but Felix, yeah, no, Volpe does not make that play that Lombard made yesterday. Absolutely not. Jockey Boy says no chance. That's funny. 99.99, the Judge challenge. Yeah, let me see. Let me see if there's any games going on right now. Check the scores on those games. Nah, it doesn't seem like it. The A's and Red Sox are playing at 4:10. What time are the Rays playing? They're playing against Seattle. Oh, that game's going to be tonight at 7:50 or 9:50, excuse me. 9:50. So that's going to be a late night game. I agree, CeeLo. Yeah, I agree. I know there's been a lot of talk about Anthony Volpe potentially being the possible second baseman of the future, assuming that the Yankees don't bring Jazz back. But I think Anthony Volpe needs to be on another team starting for next season, if there is going to be a next season. I don't think so, Pixelmon. I don't think it keeps Judge out of the Hall of Fame. Giancarlo Stanton, on the other hand, potential. I think it does keep him out of the Hall of Fame. But Aaron Judge, I don't think so. Yeah, Rays won last night. They're just gonna continue to win. I'm sure they'll lose at some point, but I mean they will. But you know, where the Rays lose, the Yankees have to take advantage of the opportunities and win games. Obviously, right? Clearly. I mean, I'm stating the obvious here, but you all know what I'm trying to say. Volpe is out of here. Why wouldn't offer Arias a contract? That's where I'm at. I mean, why not give Luis Arias a contract? I'm down. They better not pay him that kind of money. He'll be a great second baseman in Colorado. Probably. Yeah, I heard about that, Jay Witt. I did see that, actually. Stanton is a Hall of Famer, easy breezy. Who's going to stop the Red Sox? Hard to say. I mean, Red Sox they've been riding that wave, man. They caught fire. They caught fire. Same thing with the Rays. Both of these teams this year. The Rays caught fire this year, right? Kind of that fire that the Blue Jays had last year, and then the Red Sox have just been catching fire over the last month, and they're sneaking their way back in the division. What's up, Jonathan? Stanton not making it without 500 home runs, and that's the biggest thing. That's one of the things, man. The Stanton hit 500 home runs. I mean, if he keeps getting hurt like this and misses a bunch of games, probably not. Well, I hope it's not Volpe at second. I don't want Anthony Volpe at second. At that point, it's like if you're not going to get Luis Arise, then you might as well just stick with Caballero. I'd rather see Caballero at second, if anything. But again, we'll see. Stanton will hit 500 as a Yankee and probably retire. Well, it looks like he's got 429 or 456 home runs. So can he hit 500? Sure, he can. It's just he needs to stay healthy. Yeah, right, Robert? Yeah, CeeLo, I had that conversation yesterday on my stream about Trent Grisham, and we had that conversation today too. I think they should go Spencer Jones over Trent Grisham and DFA him. Yeah, we got 100 mil coming off. There's a lot of money coming off the books for next season, right? I mean, DJ's contract is coming off. I know he's not the biggest one, but DJ, you got DJ LeMahieu, you got Trent Grisham, Jazz Chisholm. Yeah, there's a bunch of money coming off. A healthy Stanton would have done it this year. Yeah, I could have. I probably would have said 30 home runs for a healthy Stanton this year. Then that would have put him at 486. Yeah, Stan. We know he's going to get hurt every season. I mean, it's just we expect it. We're used to it. But I don't think we could. I also think we can't deny his performance in the playoffs either. I mean, in the playoffs, he's always been clutch. Always been clutch. Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see when it comes to John Carlo. Billo says DFA Grisham and Jazz move on. Listen, like I said, I'm all for I'm all for moving on from Grisham. Once the reinforcements come back, I won't DFA him now, but once Bellinger, Judge, and Stanton come back, sign me up. Sign me up. I wouldn't be against that whatsoever. He was raking when he went down. How many does he have this year so far? Who are you talking about, Bill? Yeah, he's got one. Technically 1 year left, because 2028, like I keep saying, it's a club option, and I don't see the Yankees exercising that club option. So, and we know the Marlins are paying $10 million of that. Oh, Stanton. Oh, how many? Let's see, how many home runs? Let me look that up. Three home runs. I mean, he only hit three home runs this season before going down, so not a lot. So yeah, not a lot of home runs for Giancarlo. Well, we'll see what goes down in this afternoon's game. The game's going to start here in a little over 30 minutes. So I'm probably going to end the live stream here. So thank you all for tuning in for the pregame. Again, I'm not going to be able to go live for the play by play. I might be able to go live for the play by play tomorrow, but I'm not going to be able to do the whole game. So I might do part of the game because I at least I don't like missing play by plays. If I'm able to go part of the game, do a 5 inning, 4 or 5 innings or something, I'd be happy with that too. So be on the lookout for that if I decide to go live for that. If not, it'll just probably be another pregame. On base percentage of 302 there below, and his average was at 256. Yeah, for real, CeeLo. The way he gets hurt. I mean, unfortunately, with the injuries. Well, yeah, I am. Like I said, I am going to wrap this up. I do appreciate everybody tuning in. Thank you to all the new subscribers. We are getting that much. The strike zone is getting that much closer to 3,000 subscribers. So, if you are new and you're watching, and this is your first time watching, hit that subscribe button. It would mean a lot to me. We're not far away from hitting the 3,000 number. And once we hit that 3,000 number, I'm going to do a few gift card giveaways to Fanatics. So there will be three lucky winners. So I'll explain how all that stuff works. But I'm going to end it right here. Thank you to everybody for hanging out. Go enjoy the game. Enjoy your Saturday. Enjoy the weekend. Make sure you stay cool out there. Drink plenty of water. And be safe out there, right? Be safe. Don't do anything stupid. And I'll see you all next time. Have a good one. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. And as always, let's go Yankees. Have a good one.